What percentage of the pizzas coming out of the restaurant are you making right now?
Every single one.
Yeah.
I make every single dough ball, and I shape and bake every pizza. I have no one else in the restaurant cooking. I feel like I will work myself to death to be better at what I'm doing. That's the only place that I put my ego. I don't know if I'm the best. I don't know if I'm great at anything, but I will tell you this. I will work myself till I drop dead. So at least that's something.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Dan Loves to Chat. On today's episode, we have one of the best, Anthony Mangieri, the chef of Una Pizza Napoletana, which is ranked #1 in the world by Best 50 Pizza. That's freaking crazy. Anthony makes a pizza called the Neapolitan style, which is, you know, kind of the thinking man's pizza. If you don't know what it is, it's soupy in the middle. You cut it with a knife and fork. The outsides are crispy. They take like a minute and a half, 2 minutes in the oven. It's really a personal kind of beautiful artistic expression of a pizza. It's a wild special thing. The crazy thing about Anthony is he has done one thing in his life, and that is make these pizzas. He started in Jersey. He had a little tiny shop that he built with his bare hands. They started to get a little bit of buzz, and he moved to New York, and the place in New York started to get a little bit of buzz. And then he moved to San Francisco, and San Francisco got hella buzz. And then he moved back to New York in 2018, COVID, partners, everything was kind of crazy, but now he owns Una all by himself. I love talking to guys like this. Obviously, he's such a guy. He's just a guy who makes a thing and every day just wakes up and he's like, I'm going to make the thing a little better. I just fucking love it. And if you like this episode, please send it to a friend. You know, more importantly, follow Anthony on Instagram. Tell him you loved it. Go to Una Pizza Napoletana. And subscribe, leave a comment. And I really appreciate you guys watching. It's very fun to make. And this is a fun episode. Enjoy Anthony Mangieri. Oh, by the way, if you're watching the video, yeah, I'm at home. I deleted the intro from the studio because I'm an idiot. And now I'm kind of sick and I'm wearing different clothes I'm not happy with this couch I got. It's pretty, but it's not super comfortable. But anyway.
Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it.
I'll curse about a lot of people. That'll get some attention.
Yeah? You're gonna throw some elbows?
No, I'm kidding.
Part of me, I'm trying to refine who I am as a person, but I worked for Eater for many years.
Okay.
So, and I know when I made all the videos. So I was like,
we're doing one tomorrow actually.
with Eater?
Yeah, with
you're doing when the chef's
day off. Yeah.
So it's great. Now the team there is incredible. Now with Connor, right?
Great. Yeah, exactly.
One of the things about working for these media companies is like you get trained to make headlines and stuff that are going to be clicky.
Yeah, of course.
In my DNA is you if you're saying like I'm going to talk some shit.
Yo, you're like,
I'm like fuck yeah, but I don't want that.
No.
I don't want that. I mean, I
just say whatever I think.
Yeah, that's why you're you've earned the right to do exactly what you want to do in any.
Well, I don't know about that.
No, I mean,
a little bit of tact.
Absolutely. But I mean, if you wake up every day, do one thing, really try to get better every day, you're not trying to conquer the world. You're trying to like conquer your own little domain. I feel like you've earned the right to feel how you feel about about things on some level. I don't feel like I've earned that right.
I don't either, honestly. I think also the older you get, at least for me, the more I actually question my right to anything.
Yeah.
I think when I was younger, I felt more sure of myself.
Really?
Yeah.
You feel less sure of yourself now?
Yeah, I mean, I think I feel sure of myself in that, like, when it comes just specifically to work, that I can kind of stay within, like, guardrails to make sure, like, we can still open and I can still serve pizza. But, yeah, I mean, I think, like, if you do something your whole life, you start to feel, you kind of go through like this with it, like you're young and you're pissed and full of anger or whatever is driving you, and you feel like you're the best and you're just full of ego and you're like, I'm better than everybody. And then you keep doing stuff and then you start to learn more and more and you experience the world and you experience happiness and sadness and everything, and you start to get older and you're like, oh, you know what, I actually don't really know anything. And I just keep trying to, like what you were saying, I keep trying to be working on myself and figuring out like how to be better at what I do, better to people, better to my family, better dad, all that stuff.
You do therapy?
No,
Really?
never
Never?
in my life. No.
Wow, real
No,
Italian.
it's not for me. No, there's no way I'm talking it. This is my therapy.
You see, you
I'm
just got to
working.
do a podcast
Yeah,
every week.
podcasts every couple of months, and I feel like I'm not suicidal.
You could find a Jew. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
there's really, you find all the Jews to do the podcast with because it's kind of like doing therapy.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. No, never.
So what are, I mean, there's many different, I feel like therapy's one way to start figuring those things out, but also there's
We're good friends.
Good friends.
Or family that you love.
So what are some things that you felt when you were growing up that you were like sure about and now you feel less sure?
I don't know if there's like specific things. I think it's more of a feeling and a way that you carry yourself and the way that maybe you interact with people. You know, maybe when I was really young and first starting out with the restaurant, I felt like I was the best and I just like would say things. But, you know, I think you need that also when you're young, or maybe not even when you're young, but when you're beginning anything kind of new in life. Like there needs to be some feeling of like, I'm gonna be tough. I'm gonna be strong. Like you have to kind of be tough to get through things, or the world will kind of knock you down and you won't survive. So I'm glad that I felt that way when I was young because, you know, I came from nothing and started out like in such a shoestring way in New York City, and I had to kind of feel like, you know, I'm willing to fight for whatever I believe and not back down. And so and also I guess as you get older, you get softer,
Yeah.
or tired.
Sure.
You know.
Do you feel differently about having committed to doing like one thing every day? Like, are you as sure about that as you were?
Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, I feel more fired up about like what I do for work probably than I have in years. Like it's crazy. I feel fortunate that like I can get up in the morning and still be like, like I want to be better at what I'm doing. I truly feel like, I have a lot to learn still. I mean, we were talking before this, like, and it's kind of a little bit of this idea too, when you analyze what you're doing and you start to dig deeper and deeper into it, sometimes things start to unravel and then you almost forget what you're doing, or like techniques or reasons why you did things. And I feel like I'm just constantly in this spiral of like wanting to learn and wanting to understand things and wanting to be better. I mean, yeah. I feel like I will work myself to death to be better at what I'm doing. That's the only place that I put my ego, I think, is that I always feel like I will outwork anyone. I don't know if I'm the best. I don't know if I'm great at anything, but I will tell you this. I will work myself till I drop dead. So at least that's something.
And
I think you have to do that with anything. You have to put the work in.
A part of why I'm so drawn to you and like people who are dedicated like you are is like I don't feel that dedicated. Like every day I feel like I will outwork you in terms of convincing myself to be dedicated, but it's an extra step.
Yeah.
I'm not naturally that dedicated to anything. And I do feel like I look at guys like you and I look at sort of that, the Japanese ikigai or whatever, and I'm like, that's the happiness, that's the contentness that I want.
Yeah.
But I've done a lot of bullshit. I've done a lot of random things. Like when my dad died, I went to culinary school. I cooked growing up, and then I went to culinary school because I just didn't really know what the fuck I was doing. And the funniest thing about culinary school was the worst guy in culinary school, by far. He was a joke. He was sloppy. He was disgusting. He didn't know the difference between salt and pepper. It sounds like a joke, but I'm for real. By the 6 months in, he would show up early. He would leave late. He's the only one from my culinary school that is a professional chef now. That runs a kitchen.
Coincidentally, we talk about this a lot in my family because, I have a 14-year-old who wants to be a ballet dancer and is amazing. And it's just, we talk about like this idea of work and repetition. I'm also reading a book right now I'm almost finished with by Twalia Tharp. I don't know if you know who that is.
No.
So she's an amazing choreographer, but wrote this book, and it's just like about like, again, like this idea of like repetition and putting the work in, even in creativity and things like that. I think there's always I think a lot of people have this like thing where they think like being creative, it just comes to you, or like it's just going to be like this inspiration. You're only going to do things when it pops in and it's all of a sudden. And I just have been a believer my whole life of like, you just have to like do the work and do whatever you're doing, whether it's you're a writer, you're an artist, you're a musician, or a pizza maker. You just have to like approach it like it's I don't want to say a 9-to-5 job, but almost like you have to go to the office.
Yep.
You're like, I don't have a choice. And today might suck, but I'm going to go in and I'm going to bang it and do it and go home and be pissed and upset why it didn't go the way I wanted. And I'm going to get up and do it again tomorrow. And I think that's, building that habit into your life is really the only way to like get where you want to be. And it's also a way to do something that no one can take away from you, like that kind of stuff is not connected to like what's popular or, awards or whatever's trending. It's like reality.
Yeah.
It's just going in and doing the work.
When you have friends who you don't feel it, or like who ask you, how do I get up and stay? How do I treat whatever I'm doing? Like I'm a poet. How do I treat this more like a job? Like what do you tell people to do?
I mean, kind of like what I just said. I think just like, just
It's not always fun.
it's not fun. And I think like what you were saying too, like I don't know if you get to that place where you do live like in that hard work repetition.
You can pull it in.
Yeah,
a little.
just because my hands move around
No,
when
it's
I
all
talk
right.
and I keep whacking it. I don't know if when you get to that place that all of a sudden you're happy.
Yeah.
Happiness for me is like so fleeting. And not to say I walk around like in a dark cloud and I'm like, all day long, but like, it comes and goes. I mean, whenever you're trying to do something and push at something, like there's just a lot of resistances around you. And a lot of them are self-induced resistances, but either way, the world is not an easy place to just do what you want in, like you have to keep fighting through that and stuff. So the happiness kind of comes and goes. And even in work, there's moments where, something's going great and then it like disappears in a second in the same day. It's hard to even keep it within that work day.
Yep. Is your day today harder than your day was 20 years ago? Like was
Definitely.
learning to make pizza the hardest part, or is
No.
No.
I don't think learning to do anything is the hardest part because you don't have anything to go on. So every step along the way is a milestone.
Yeah.
Every step is like, shit, like now I know how to do this and yesterday I didn't, or now I know how to do this and 15 minutes ago I didn't.
Yeah.
And you see changes more readily and like things are just more tangible. The growth is more tangible. I think as you continue along your path in life, it gets harder if you stay in it. I think, a lot of people pivot out of things in whatever field they're in and they do something else. Or if you're a chef or a restaurant, you end up just opening like 20 places and you don't cook anymore. And then you're just you're doing a different business. You're more of a businessman or whatever. But if you're doing essentially the same kind of work year after year, I think it actually does get harder. And also I'm older, so my job is also very physical. It has gotten harder as I've gotten older, and just even for that reason alone.
Right. And then what about in terms of making, like when you talk about making these incremental gains in the thing? Like can you go in and phone it in for a day?
I don't know if I ever have.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever phoned it in for a day. I mean, I definitely haven't been my best on many, many days. But no, I don't really phone it in. I might phone it in a lot of other aspects of my life, but not that. I don't think you can have, like, you can be pretty good. And this is what I was saying about trying to work, on being a better person. I don't think you can really be 100% on everything in your life. Some stuff suffers. And if your work is your thing, there's just no way that you can be the best at everything else. So I think my phoning in is probably more in the other stuff around my life, sadly. And the pizza is not phoned in yet.
Right.
Maybe one day I'll phone it in and then maybe I'll be happy and have peace. But right now it's not the case.
How
Like,
would you though? Like how could you even, like what
know.
opportunities do you see to cut corners that you don't take?
Oh, I mean, just in general, in the restaurant business, there's opportunities every
Of course,
second.
every second. Yeah.
For me personally, like, I just don't even entertain anything because it's so deeply ingrained in my way of living and thinking and being for the place that, I'm not joking. Like, I sincerely want to be better at what I'm doing. So I go in there and I'm like, whatever is going to make this better and make me better at this.
Yeah.
And sometimes I stop and I'm like, who gives a shit? It's strange.
No,
You
but
really
nothing
stop.
matters. You have
No-
to make something that matters.
I know, it's just
Yeah.
crazy though when
Yeah.
you really think about it. It's
Oh,
like
no, who
you're
gives
just
a
like
shit? Of
about,
course.
about a lot of stuff that like you just dig so deep into, and you're like, it's pizza. Like, who cares?
Sure,
You
but
know,
it's anything.
Exactly. It's so I always say to people, to me, it's not even about pizza. It's just coincidental that I'm serving you pizza. I could be like an electrician, and I would probably be like, you know, coming back to your house, changing the outlet because I don't like the way it lined up or something.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I'm just a nut job, and
do you not think
and
that
I'm
there's-
making pizza?
Is it not something about like, is it not the perfect thing for you because there is craft and art in it? Like
Maybe,
an
but-
electrician, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
you could. Like my dad was an electrician, so that's why it popped into my head because I worked with him as a kid and I hated it.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, if you're like putting wires through a wall, I'm sure you could do them in a way where if somebody's home, they're like, dude, like the way you ran those wires,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
no
yeah.
one's
He's
ever done that.
clean.
Like
He's
instead,
clean.
other people are just hacking through stuff or whatever. You know, I'm sure there's a way. I just think there's a way to have art in every, like, to me, art is life. Like
Yep.
it's the way you can do anything, you know, like you can just be artful in anything.
For sure.
So, but no, with pizza, for me, just because I live in it, it's my world, I think it's also a culinary art or culinary work that is very difficult to lock in because of these constant moving elements within it, because you have a wood-fired oven, which is impossible to lock down. There's just no way to get that oven to ever be exactly the way you want it to be consistent. So that's the first thing. Then you add in naturally leavened dough that's not refrigerated. Then you add in that you're shaping everything with your hands. And, you know, these type of elements create like so many fluctuations within the course of a service, let alone a week, 2 weeks, a month. So it's just like all over the place within the night when we're open. And I think that keeps it so interesting and keeps me wanting to be better.
Is your dad the same way? Like, does
He
your,
passed away.
was he? Sorry, was he? the
No,
same?
he was not. He was kind of sloppy and didn't do a great job with stuff.
Yeah.
Because my mom used to say to me, like, you know, I can remember doing like things around the house or like hanging a door in the back, and she'd be like, "Oh, everything you do, you're like, no, I don't really know where it came from. It's not like family traits that I saw growing up anyway, where it was like, do this way. It was not.
What
like,
was your mom like? Is she around?
No, they're both passed
Oh,
away.
sorry.
Oh, that's all right. She was, I mean, I don't remember her being like a perfectionist either. She was just like a hard worker,
Yeah.
had like 2 jobs. She was like my best friend. I loved her so much. I mean, I credit her with not necessarily me being who I am, which maybe no one should take credit for because I don't know if it's great, but I credit her with giving me like a place and a feeling of like support and love and like non-judgment. You know, I think that's so important from a parent to feel
Yeah.
like, you know, they have your back even if you're an idiot,
Right.
which I might have been and still might be, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So I
But-
thank her a lot for that.
Was there anything else that you did growing up that you liked?
Oh yeah,
'Cause obviously-
I loved my childhood.
Yeah.
No, I love skateboarding. I love BMX racing. I loved music. You know, I just like, yeah.
Do you still do anything else? Do you still have any other like?
I cycle a lot. Yeah, cycling is my biggest passion outside of work and my family.
Yeah.
Mountain biking and road biking.
Do you have that same level of wanting to get better at it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I've gone through phases where I ride with a lot of people or I ride alone, and most of the time now I ride alone or I have like 1 or 2 people that I ride with, and I still go out when I ride like as hard as I can. Especially mountain biking is like the thing that I really, really love, and yeah, I try to push it as hard as I can when I do it.
Do you meet other people who like? Do you ever meet other people who have what you see as the same level of sort of dedication to one thing?
I don't know. I don't really pay attention to that, I think.
Really?
No, but I mean, if I had to think about it, I mean, I know a lot of people who are super talented at a lot of stuff. I don't know if I know anyone that like does just one thing.
Yeah,
For their whole life.
Other one thing guys.
Yeah, like I mean, because there just aren't even like Well, I mean, I guess if you're an artist, you're a painter, that's one thing. I mean, yeah, I know people that are,
I
but
mean,
then even some of those people I know, like, don't just do art,
No,
even
no,
though
no.
they could just do art.
Yeah, they change
You
it
know,
up.
yeah, or they don't like to do it anymore.
What's the time in your life when you've been most? Have you ever like? What's the time when you've been most? When you felt most of an urge to try something else and to
You
give
mean
it up?
like to not do this?
Yeah.
I've definitely had some moments like that over the years. I mean, I think, I've had moments, and I feel even right now too, like I've had some just where I'm tired. Like I'm right now probably more fired up about making pizza than I have been in a long time, but I'm also just tired, and I get these moments. And I have a baby now who's going to be 7 months old. That's probably adding into some of the exhaustion. So I think it's usually connected to that, or financially. I think that that like probably is like the biggest thing in this choice of a life that I've made is like, the limitations
Right.
on, what you can do and how free you can get. Because there's always this thing in me where I feel like, I'd love to do this the way that I do it now, but be in a position financially where I'm just like, oh, I don't care. Like, I am going to just do 10 pizzas tonight. Who cares? Instead of feeling like, oh, I got to like do private events and I got to do this and I got to do that. Like me and my
you're not
wife
post
hustle.
money.
No, me and my wife hustle, man. Like she is a hard worker.
Yeah.
And between the two of us, like we're always hustling because the idea is like we want to keep the restaurant the way it is. So then how do we do that? And how do I do what I do, but we still make a living, So there's a lot of like figuring stuff out all the time,
So how do you do that?
We do a lot of private events and stuff. And, we have a lot of great like companies and stuff that support us for an event or for this or for that because of our ethos matches their ethos.
At the restaurant, or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you still only open? How many days a week are you open?
We're only open to the public 3 nights a week.
But then one of the other nights, typically you have a private
At
event?
least, yeah. At
Okay,
least, yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
So you're making pizza 4 or 5 nights a week?
Often, yeah. And in the holiday season, it's like sometimes 7 nights a week,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the only way.
Yeah.
You have to do something. Either that or we need to like have somebody give us a bunch of money and open a bunch of places. But we just don't want to do that, And I always felt like if I was to do anything like that, I just had this conversation recently with someone. It would need to be like life-changing
Amount of money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I fuck up what I've built for 30 years, it needs to be an amount of money.
$625,000?
Yeah. No, it needs to be like, it didn't work. We opened 20 of them. They all sucked. See you later.
Yeah.
And I can just disappear and I never have to worry about anything again and my family doesn't. It needs to be at that level. It can't be like, oh, we're going to open 3 of them and you have to put some sweat equity. And I put 30 years of sweat equity in. So like if we were to ever do that, it needs to be like, here's $20 million. We're going to open up a couple of restaurants. Obviously I would give my all, but it needs to be that kind of a thing where it's like, seriously, whoa,
Yeah.
we're safe finally.
What percentage of the pizzas coming out of the restaurant are you making right now?
Every single one.
Yeah.
I make every single dough ball and I shape and bake every pizza. I have no one else in the restaurant cooking.
And has anyone ever made one?
Yes. Yeah. I did it, what I'm doing now, completely alone. I did for probably 25 years of the 30 years that we've been in business, because this is actually our 30th anniversary. And then the last 5 years or so, I had some guys working with me, and it was great. And I just have gotten back to the point of where, and I think that's partially why I'm more excited now. I know all my friends are all like, "You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Like, what are you doing? You like to make things hard." But it kind of evolved back to this just naturally. But it was something that I had been thinking about, like where would this go? Would I end up back in this position? And there's just something about the work from beginning to end, the through line, that like, I don't know, you can't fake it. You can't, like, you just learn so much. It's like every single step of it now I'm like doing Whereas before, for the last couple of years, it had been like I always made all the dough. No one ever made the dough, but I wasn't the only one either opening the pizza or baking the pizza. We would switch, and just having that connection to every aspect of it, it really has just gotten me like to want to really be better even than I had ever felt.
It's awesome.
And it's scary.
Yeah.
It's been a scary transition. It's like, getting back to like having all that pressure when we're busy on me puts me in like a stressed out spot at times when we're super busy because, I have to be so focused, but then I also talk to guests when they come up to the pass and stuff, and it's a little tricky.
Yeah, people don't realize when they go and say hi or whatever, like if you're, you are nice to everyone, and
I try to be because
yeah,
I appreciate it, like sincerely, like appreciate it,
But it's like, it really is, for you, it is life and death. Every pizza coming out of that thing, like you really care, and it's like
I do care, yeah.
And so you're walking a tightrope, and then people are coming over to you, being
Right.
like, "You're really great at the tightrope."
Right. Or they're like, hey, Anthony. Or like, because we have glass along the side and
Yeah.
I can't hear them either in that section. They're like, and they're saying something like, and so I try to get the staff. We go over this every day at pre-shift, actually, where it's like, look, if anyone is standing along the glass or the pickup pass for the food, we call it the pass where the food goes out, you got to engage with them and be like, hey, how are you? You just watching? Did you want to say hello to Anthony? And if they're like, oh, we wanted to say hello, then they're always like, you got to just wait till he gets that pizza out of the oven and he'll say hello. And then they'll come around. One of the staff will come around and be like, hey, those folks want to say hello or take a picture or whatever. But it's
Yeah.
like sometimes it slips through the cracks. And like I have 3 pizzas in the oven. The oven's 1,000 degrees. The dough is super hydrated. If I poke it even slightly the wrong way, it rips. And they're just like, and I'm like, and I might rip one as I'm trying to say hello to them. And I'm just like, now I'm slowed down. Now I got to remake that.
And then you still got to smile, and because you also appreciate what they're doing. They are interested. They're not. There's nothing cynical about what they're doing.
No. I mean, like, for me at the restaurant, and
They're not trying to steal your secrets.
No, there's no secrets anyway.
They're just
It's
a
like
fan. They're kind of
just
a
work.
fan. Yeah.
But yeah, they're like people who just support us or love it. And we have such amazing guests at the restaurant. It's like unbelievable, man. We have like
Yeah.
people are like people come. We have people who come every single week. We have people who come twice a week. We're only open 3 days a week.
Crazy.
Like there's people who love what we're doing and believe in it and support it. And man, I don't take that like lightly.
No.
Like it's like, and I just never will. I will never like take that for granted. Never.
It's so incredible. So in terms of just like there's no shortcuts. You got to do the work. Is it? How do you when you get that question all the time of like, hey, how do I make better pizza at home? Like, how do you?
I mean, I can give basic tips that are just like, maybe going to help a little, but like, really, it's just like anything. Like, there's such subtle nuances in like what makes something go from like good to great to holy cow. Like this is like life changing. And I don't think that's just in food. It's in anything. I'm sure it's in comedy with timing or a certain there's just like, I was actually yesterday watching someone make mozzarella in a store that I was at, and we bought a ball, and when we ate it, it was like chewing friggin' bubble gum. It sucked. And I was watching them, and I was like, they were working it a little too much. It looked fine. It looked great. I'm sure people love it. But like when you ate it, I was like, this is just not the way it should be, by a subtle nuance. It was like one fold over too many, And it's like that with everything. It's like there's such nuances to things being amazing.
Everything is as a sweet spot.
It does, yeah. It does.
I remember I made coffee for my aunt one time, and she taught me how to use the French press, and I thought, because I wanted to make the coffee as good as possible, that I pumped the French presses a million. I was like, I pumped it so many times. And obviously the coffee wasn't very good.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me that you're not, obviously you put yourself in the position of needing the restaurant to still be successful. I think I've talked about this before, but I think like, when someone is well known in restaurants, or like, or has the best pizza in the world, you would assume that they're past needing to make the money or whatever. But it's crazy. It's crazy that in New York there's just such a discrepancy. Like I always talk about this, but like the worst banker is making more money than you. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy, and you are the best. I mean, or
Well, I think it's just a field, you know. I mean, it's even like that though on social media. I mean, think about like, you know, how some people have such huge followings, and it's like, who in the F is that person?
yeah,
You know, and they've been around for a week. And it's the same monetarily speaking. I mean, you know, certain business just makes a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
And there's people who are like, you know, even amazing musicians that like her, even if you do, you know what I love doing is
networthing people.
Yeah. It's like, I love doing that. I don't know why. It's like my thing. It'll be like net worth. Oh my God, they're worth $10 billion. And then you'll net worth like some musician that like is literally a part of the fabric of society. And you're like, they're worth $2 million bucks?
Right.
How is that possible?
Yeah.
And it's just a different, like there's where the money is.
Have you done yourself?
No, but I'm sure it wouldn't even come up. It's not going to come up. It's like, no.
100
like,
pizzas per day times.
It'll probably be like, no real facts. You know, it's like, no, but maybe $75.
Yeah, restaurant
and
business.
a one-way bus ticket somewhere.
So what, like when you guys are talking about, because obviously it, you know, and the city's getting more expensive. You need money. You got 2 kids.
Yeah.
So like what are the conversations you have in terms of, and stop me if this is offside, but what are the conversations you've had in terms of trying to make more money from the one shop? If you're going to be there, right? Like, are you ever like, well, why don't we do $100 a pizza? Like what goes?
No, I mean, there's obviously a cap to that. I mean, again, though, even with that, like, you know, my wife and I were talking about that recently, and she was like, it's crazy that we can't just charge like what X amount for a pizza, because it's almost like as if you start your career becoming like, you know, whatever, a law clerk, and you're making whatever, and you've been at the same firm for 30 years. Now you own the firm and you're considered whatever, the best lawyer in that field. You're not making the same amount of money when you were a law clerk. It's just gone up. But with certain business, there's just a cap. Yeah. You can't be like, the piece is $1,000 each because it's me making all of them, and I've been doing this 30 years. People are going to be like, you're out of your mind. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like finding angles and doing events and getting support from, you know, people that you know, companies that love what we do. You know, it's tough. But we're always thinking, you know, like we're also not opposed to things. Like we have ideas, and, you know, we always come right to the line on doing stuff. And then like it never really seems truthful. And it connects to what I said too. Like, you know, for 30 years, we've built a brand slowly, brick by brick. And to change that, you can never go back. So it's almost like, in a way, building that brick by brick built kind of a prison around me, in a sense of like, I'm afraid to shift out of that unless it's really something beautiful, unless it's really something life-changing, unless it's really something that just organically makes sense. So I'd rather continue on what we do and do the right thing. And, you know, we're fortunate. We're surviving and doing great and happy and healthy. Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, do you experiment with charging a lot for the pizzas? Like, do you try things like that?
Well, we charge a good amount for
what is one?
It's like $40 for a pizza. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, we can't just make a different one and all of a sudden. Like, I think there's, you know, a cap because
like all these companies online now, I mean, that are selling products, like there's no heart in it. They experiment with at what price do sales slow down.
Yeah, you can push the line and be like, you know, okay, we hit the wall. Let's back off a hair.
Yeah.
We can't do that because we have people that like come there and it's
you don't want to do a sliding scale.
It's a real I can't just be like all over the place. Like, you know, no, there has to be like consistency and, you know, it's too personal. And also again, like there's like you said, these online companies, it's like you don't know who's behind them. You don't know what's going on. This is like very personal. I'm very exposed to everything we do in the restaurant is me to a degree. So, you know, I have to be concerned about that as well, and how we present ourselves and how we treat things and everything. You know, there's a lot that comes along with that.
Have you gotten better at private events? Like, how did that business grow?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, my wife is big into that. Like, she worked for Danny Meyer's Restaurant Group for many years. She worked for Martha Stewart for many years. She worked for a good friend of ours who had a startup for like a hospitality funding during COVID. She's like super smart. So she's been a big part of the growth on that. And I think it's just getting it out there. It's kind of cool because I feel like once you start doing them, I don't know how it gets around to all the companies, but somehow,
What's a cool thing to do if you're a bank
yeah,
or
people
whatever?
see it and they're like, oh, cool. And it's like, and it connects to like whatever part of their brand they're trying to be like, oh, we're about craft or whatever, even if it's a bank or whatever. And so it's a big help because
And there you can do a sliding scale.
to a degree, because
Yeah.
it's all inclusive. It's like you're getting the space, you're getting me, you're getting the food, so we can charge like X amount. And it's like, you know, if you want to do it, do it. If not, not. So that's good.
Yeah. And have you like, I mean, when was the first one of those you ever did?
Oh, well, I mean, the first one was like back in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So it's always been like something that we do little by little. It just has grown over the last couple of years. And I think it probably started mostly around the holidays, you know, where people would reach out and be like, hey, we love your place. Would you do a private event? And originally, I'd always be like, nah, because I'm like, I'm exhausted and like, you know, what the hell am I going to do? Like, I got to make more pizza on my day off because I love cycling, like I said, and I had always tried to have balance to some degree. So, but it's kind of just taking a life of its own.
Yeah. For people who don't know, also, like when you do the restaurant buyout, that's when, I mean, most restaurants, that's when they go from not profitable to profitable.
I think everyone I know that has a restaurant is scrambling to do it.
Yeah.
Even restaurant, like, you know, the thing is most restaurants aren't that profitable.
Yeah.
Even the ones that have 10 locations, like especially in New York City.
The margins are horrible.
The margins are horrible, and there's a lot of absentee kind of management ownership that they get big salaries and they're not doing a lot of work and stuff. I just think there's, you know, it's like it's such a tough business, man. So
Yeah.
I think even places that have like, you know, on the outside, you know, a big success, I think they're still struggling, you know, and definitely private events from people that I know in the industry, it seems like that's where the money starts being like, oh, thank God we're actually making some money,
Yeah.
you know?
I feel like you get asked this all the time, but what's like a recent thing about the process of the pizza making that you feel like you've tinkered with or has improved? I just feel like you always have a new answer, and it's something about humidity or an airflow issue or.
You know, the last couple of months, my two things have been like, it's been the wood for the oven is driving me friggin' nuts.
Why?
Because all the wood sucks. You know, it all sucks. It's like either dried too much and it like explodes in the oven and burns too fast. It's not split the right size, or it doesn't burn fast enough. It's just like an ongoing, it's just like imagine your home oven and you turn it to 450, but it's actually 800, but it says 450. It's just like, it's so hard to lock this in. It's like you put a piece of wood in, it spikes it. That's been like my big thing lately. Just like trying to really figure out the wood and have consistency in the heat control in the oven. And then the hydration of the dough is like where I'm always just all over the place, like pushing it. Then I scare myself and I kind of go back. I have a night where like I did too much and like they're ripping.
And that means water content in the dough?
Water content in the dough, yeah. Like because there's like so much beauty in the pizza when there's a lot of water in it. It's like, it's where all the magic lies. Like everything is important in the dough, but like the highly hydrated dough really is where like it really comes alive and like it creates like a wild crust. It's like amazing chew. Texturally, it just looks beautiful. Like when you look at the inside, it's wild and beautiful. But again, like you go so far and then you get to a place where like they look like shit. And then I'm like, am I going too far where like this pizza looks crazy and we're serving it? Because you want to kind of have something that like looks round and looks like a pizza and not just looks like it exploded all over the place in the oven and I'm serving this like boulder from a mountain. But there's that line where I go too far and I'm like, oh, these look like shit. And there's like way too many big bubbles in them and I'm stressed out. And then I pull back and then it's kind of a little bit dead and not as magical, but it's easier and more shaped and looks more refined.
And then you're like, I'm being lazy.
And I'm like this, not even lazy, I'm being safe.
Yeah.
I'm being safe. I'm being like, oh, this is like much less stress. But then I get stressed throughout the night anyway, because I'm like, fuck, this like it's not beautiful in that other way, you know? So it's this balance.
And what percentage of I mean, this is not the way you would think about it, but like, what kind of numbers are we talking here in terms of like the percentage of the dough
hydration
being water? Yeah.
I mean, depending on the flour, because I change the flour mix like pretty regularly. Certain flours, I can push it much further. Other flours, if you did that, you literally wouldn't be able to open the pizza up. I would say on the highest end, like 90% water. And that's a lot. It has to be a certain kind of flour. And it also is a lot when the dough is not refrigerated. You know, a lot of times like people in baking will talk about like, oh, the dough is 100% hydrated or 90% hydrated, but they proof it for 2 days in the fridge. And that just changes texturally what you're going to have to manage when you're opening it. If the dough is never in the fridge, it's just so much more delicate. But I also think that that's just a better dough, you know? And I've gotten very close to like walking away from that aspect of it over the years because it's so stressful not having it in like a real controlled proofing box, you know, where it's like I can set the humidity and I can set the temp and keep it a certain way. But I just think when it works, then the room temp dough is like, it's like a tomato that's never been in the fridge, you know, or a ball of mozzarella that's been pulled that day and has never been in the fridge. I mean, when you eat these kind of things, there's just no going back to the other way. And I feel the same with the dough this way.
So hydration percentage is really, that's like your sort of mistress over life?
That's the thing, yeah. And that's what I tell people if they're like, oh, give me a tip for homemaking. And they're like, you know, when I try to open the pizza, like it springs back or it does this or it does that. I'm like, just add as much water as humanly possible and scare yourself, you know? And then when it goes to shit, just pull back a hair. And if it doesn't go bad, then push it again that way a little bit and just play within that kind of area between it not being a disaster and it being a disaster. Somewhere within there, you can find that spot where the hydration is functionable, but it creates this amazing product.
Do you ever get surprised anymore?
I mean, I get surprised every night throughout service, like when things go a certain way, or I'm like, oh, the weird thing is like, you never totally know, at least with the way that I make the pizza, I never totally know right when we're about to open and start service, I never know if it's going to be like really a great night. Oftentimes I'm like, I kind of take my lunch break and I'm like, oh, I think today is going to be like, I feel pretty good. Like the dough balled nice. I'm feeling okay. And then like we'll start and it'll suck. And I'm like, damn it. Like, you know, or like I was super excited actually this past Saturday because I tried some flours that I don't really use and I really wanted to dig in and work on these, and they have a lot more whole grain in them. And I just was like, I want to really figure this out. And I went hard on them, and man, the pizza sucked, in my opinion. I mean, no one said it sucked, and you know, people were happy, but I ate one at the end of the night and I was just like, I'm like, this isn't what I was looking for. So now all week I've been thinking like, all right, what am I going to do with this idea that I had planned to lean so hard into?
An idea that no one would ever even know you were doing.
No, I don't think anyone really knows what I'm doing because, again, this is where I think
that you can make it, you can keep making it hard.
30 years also allows me to stay within those guardrails of like, maybe 20 years ago, if I did this, I literally would have been like, we can't open tonight. And now, hopefully, I'm always able to kind of pull it together and fight my way through it, and we're able to open and serve pizza, and people are happy, and no one's like, oh my God, this is terrible tonight.
Since you've been good at making pizza, have there been any periods of time where you've made bad pizza? Like, and your perception has been slightly off or something like that? For me anyway, like,
I think so.
I'm a very good editor.
Yeah.
But like even making the clips for these things, like I've started to over edit.
Yeah.
And I think that they've been Frankensteined a little, and I actually don't like how they're coming out.
That's totally happened to me many, many times where I overthink things or I overanalyze or I really start to want to be like, well, I want to do this and I want to change this and I want to do that and I'm going to try this. And then like I make the pizza and I'm like, what is this? Like, And then I'm like, but how do I get back to not overanalyzing? You know what I mean? Because the more you overanalyze things, the more it becomes kind of the way you think about your work. And it's hard sometimes to step back from that and just kind of go with your muscle memory and do things, and things come out well, because a lot of things that you learn from repetition become second nature and become muscle memory and become so deep in you that like you almost shouldn't like pull those things out and be like, but why am I doing this? It's like, just, it's working great, keep doing it. If it's not working great, I think the thing is you have to be very honest with yourself in your work and be able to say, you know what, this sucks. I do need to analyze what I'm doing. I think that's why, at least in food or pizza, a lot of places that are around for a really, really long time eventually suck, because people that run them are just like, well, this is the way we always did it. These are the ingredients we always use. This is the supplier we always bought from. It's like, yeah,
And they
but
slowly
it's
cut
shit.
corners.
Yeah, it's like this supplier is not the same as it was 50 years ago. Like, you got to keep evolving and being new and fresh and being on the cutting edge of things, you know? So I think if you're honest with yourself, it's like a balance, you know, like not analyzing when it's going well, and as soon as stuff starts going sideways, being like, whoa, hold on a second, what am I doing this for? Because it's not working right now.
Do you have anyone's opinion that you trust? Like, is there anyone who eats your pizza that you will listen to, or is it just you?
Well, I mean, I'm the hardest judge on myself for sure. I mean, I would say my wife. She's got a great taste, and she's, yeah, I mean, I would trust her. But the thing is, like, you know, when she will say something, I'll just be like, kind of pissed, or like, that's not true. And then I'll start thinking about it, and I'll be like, yeah, that's true. I mean, isn't that typical?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So her, I would say she guides a lot of micro adjustments in my life without realizing it, because of something that she might have said or even said in passing that kind of
Just want to write a couple
penetrated me, and then I'm like thinking on it, or I make a slight adjustment. Or a lot of times she says something and it sparks me to go in a direction that I might not have gone. And it's not clearly traceable to what she said, but it was because of something that she had said.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not telling her that, and you need to
I'll
cut
edit this out.
No,
Yeah.
don't.
When you think about, like, because you have some salads on the menu, right?
We don't have like salad, but we have some small plates and stuff. Yeah.
Are you as obsessive about that stuff?
I am, yeah. And that's why it's so small, because, and it's even something that I always think about, because I'm like, whatever we serve in there needs to be at the same level and purposeful and there for a reason and an addition to what we do, and not just like we're putting a bunch of crap on there to raise the guest check average. And especially when it comes to the two desserts that we offer, I take a huge amount of pride in those and effort. And I was actually saying yesterday to my daughter when we were hanging out, I was like, I don't know what brought this up, but like, I was like, you know, it's like, maybe I should just start making ice cream for a living instead of pizza. Because lately, everyone that comes in, or even the staff I'll be like, oh, how was table 10? And they'll be like, oh, they loved everything. And they were like, the sorbetto was the highlight of the meal. And I keep hearing this. I'm like, and my wife was like, yeah, but they expect the pizza's going to be good. I think it's a pleasant surprise. I'm like, oh, all right, well, whatever. But like, I keep hearing about how this is like the highlight of the meal. I'm like, maybe this is better than the pizza. Maybe we should just open an ice cream shop.
Yeah.
But I do.
Would you take some money to sell ice? Like, would you take some money to do something that wasn't the pizza? Like, you keep doing the pizza, and you would take a check for other things.
I would do something else, and we think about this all the time, and we have thoughts in the works and stuff that, you know, make a lot of sense to me and that connect to my childhood and things that just speak to me in a really deep way.
But if someone wants to put your name on pizza and you not make it, that's 20 mil min.
I think so. That sounds fair, right?
Yeah,
I think that's good.
I thought you were going to say higher.
Can we go higher?
I mean,
go higher. You say it. I don't care.
Yeah, 25.
Go, done.
Put it a zero.
If somebody gives me 25 million from this podcast, you're getting $1 million.
Okay, fine.
That's
Absolutely.
a deal.
Absolutely. And I might be the one making the pizzas.
Maybe.
Okay. I have so many things about this. It's so funny. Okay, so you have some things from your childhood that you might think.
Yeah.
Because that's the trick, right? Like, use your brand, maybe for another thing, and then
Yeah.
you don't have to go to bed pulling your hair out that someone else is making Anthony
Right.
pizzas.
I mean, it's like with everything. I mean, well, that's why, you can sell frozen pizza like we do, or olive oil or anything like that. Like, there's a way to connect with a bigger audience and not dilute what you build. But you have to be really smart about it, and with taste, and with it has to be honest. I think that's the key to everything. I think
the only way to sell, like, if you were to sell tomato sauce or something like that,
I would love to do that. Like, we do sell our olive oil,
but you wouldn't be
because I
able to
love
do
the
it
olive oil.
unless it was the tomato sauce you really.
Exactly. That's exactly it. It just needs to be where you can come on to something like this, or you can
I
go
could see you
somewhere and
getting
be
into a
like,
big public fight. Like, you take some money to do a tomato sauce, and then they start cutting corners, and then you start blasting them. That'd be an amazing scandal.
it would be. It would probably happen because, or it would just have to be like, look, we gave you this much money, shut your mouth and disappear. You're not connected to the brand anymore. No, because it just I just think the world needs beauty.
Yeah.
And it's connected to this. Like, these type of things equal beauty. Like, if you're making a tomato sauce, why shouldn't it just be amazing if you spent your life making tomato sauce? Like, make sure it's beautiful. Like, that's a responsibility if you're putting your name on something, Like, I think that just makes things great for everybody. And so, like, with our olive oil, like, I love the olive oil. So I'm like, here's a bottle of olive oil. And I give a bottle of oil to someone, and I feel confident in all of my soul that it's an amazing oil. And it's what I use and what I'm happy to give as a gift. So those kind of things, like, make sense. But, like, to just be like, here's this thing that, like, I'm totally checked out on and I don't know anything about, and my name's on it. It just sounds like, it's like life is too short, man. You know what? 25 million can go just as fast as $25 if you're an idiot.
Yeah.
It's
buying
like, who
custom
cares?
bikes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, who cares, really?
Is that one of your, in your Rolodex of when you're talking to normies who aren't like special freaks like you about doing a thing?
Yeah.
Is that one of your go-tos, that the world needs beauty, when they're like, why do you do this? Why do you do this? Is that?
I'm a big thing. I really am big into the idea of beauty, and just like, I just think, like, making things beautiful, treating people beautifully. I love that word beautiful, and I love to just feel like
You can't cheat it.
You can't cheat it.
Yeah.
No. And it's not like, and I don't mean aesthetically beautiful, which can be beautiful also, but I mean just beauty in your gestures, beauty in the way that you treat people. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, isn't that the answer? Like, everything else would fall into place. If you treat people with beauty and with love, it's like, that doesn't mean that I don't get pissed off, or that you can't get pissed off, and that you can't even get into a fist fight with somebody if need be. But, like, it's about, like, just the day-to-day life of being, like, trying to reset and think about, like, things, And if something comes at you that's not great, being like, hold on a second, let me think about this, and how do I handle it? Can I treat this with beauty,
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
And New York City is not an easy place to always feel like that, because it's intense, and it's tiring, and it's in your face and stuff. But, like, I do believe in it.
Are you good at being, like, if one of your purveyors is kind of dropping in quality, and they say, like, hey man, like, I noticed you're not ordering from us anymore. Are you good at being like, hey, like, I loved your stuff, but, like, the quality's not where it was?
Absolutely. Like, that's an ongoing thing for us, because I always say to people, I'm like, we have no loyalty when it comes to, like, our ingredients. Like, I literally don't care about the relationship if it's not great, and we do it all the time. We're all over the place with it, because, again, it's that idea of, like, kind of staying in this thinking of, like, being on the cutting edge. Like, how can you do something at my age and be 30 years in business and doing it now for 40-something years and still be relevant? The only way to be relevant is to keep finding a way to make it better, and part of that is the ingredients.
Yeah.
A lot of it is the ingredients. Like, we don't get any ingredients for free. We're not sponsored by any food stuff. It's just like, we pay for everything we use, and if it sucks, we're done. And some people that I've used for a long, long time, and a lot of times I'll start cutting back hard, and then they'll be like, ooh, because, some of the stuff we spend a lot of money on every week. And then they'll be like, oh, what's going on? I'm like, it's just not what it should be, And so it's annoying, but it's like the way it has to be.
Do they fix ever?
Sometimes, I mean, it's tough, man.
What's the worst the pizza's been in like a couple of years? Has there been a day where you've just pushed something too far? I mean, I know you said that only the first round would really be.
Well, no, the second round can be bad too. Yeah,
Okay.
no, totally. I mean, honestly, like, it's hard to say because, I mean, I've had some really tough days in there where I almost feel like crying, and I'm just like, God damn, I want to get out of here and go home and pretend
Yeah.
this day never happened. And I'm sure people feel like that in every field where you're just like, I want to hide
Absolutely, yeah.
and just go away and don't talk to me. And no, the stressful part for us at the restaurant is some of those days will be the day where it'll just coincidentally be the day where so many people want to come up and talk to me and be like, wow. And I'm just like so stressed out inside. And I'm trying to keep it together and be like, hey, yeah, thanks. And I'm like, but it's hard I can't pick a day specifically because there's moments throughout the day too where like if I overfire the oven or, whatever, like
You're gonna have a bad few minutes.
Yeah, bad, exactly. Like it takes time to recover from that or whatever. It's kind of all over the place.
I have a specific thing about it. Like, are you telling people when you feel like you're not putting out your best pizza? Like, this is a thing that I really struggle with. If I feel like I haven't performed well, or I feel like a video I made hasn't been that good or something, and people always tell me not to do this, but I always say, hey, like people are like, oh, that was great. I'm like, that wasn't my best. Like, you should come back another time.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be better.
Yeah.
Do you have a position on that?
It's a tricky position because, oops, sorry.
Don't worry.
What I found over the years is that it's tricky because I feel like you got to say that to people that you trust, because, like at least with us, because we're interfacing with there's a lot of guests, like sometimes when you say stuff like that, it almost empowers people to then be like, oh yeah, it was different tonight. And we're like, oh, okay, well now I feel even worse.
Yeah.
Like, let me revel in my suffering and be pissed about it. Like, I don't know if it's worth saying it to people,
And 90% of the time, 99 even, people think they've had a great experience, and then you're telling them that their experience wasn't good.
You're maybe even hurting them by being like, they're telling me how great it was. I'm like, yeah, it was really, like they might be like, oh, tonight was so amazing. Like, it was the best I ever had. I'm like, imagine if I'm like, really, it was like the worst dough I've ever made.
Yeah.
Like, I just hurt them in a way that like takes away from their experience. It's like, let me deal with it. Like, that's almost my responsibility to manage that because I'm the one making it. So I shouldn't dump that on them. But internally, like my staff hears me all night complaining. Every time they come to pick up a pizza, I'm like, this is a hunk of shit. Or they're just like, no, it looks good. I'm like, oh. Or my wife is just like, don't talk so loud, people can hear you. Or our main, operations guy that's with us, like, I complain to him a lot about the way it's going, or the oven's not working right. And they're all just like, oh, God.
So that if you were mic'd up like they do for football games, it would just be a lot of whining to yourself?
Probably a lot of cursing.
Yeah.
Stuff, yeah.
Amazing.
Most nights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many, like, really, really, really good ones do you make a night?
Oh, man. I don't know. It depends on the night. There's some
But, like,
nights
do you make one perfect one, or not perfect, but like one exceptional one, or do you make 20 exceptional ones?
Maybe some nights there's like 20. I don't know. There's some nights where it's just going, and I'm like,
you're cruising.
Well, it just feels so good. I'm just like, fuck, man. I wish like it just felt like this all night long, every night of the week. Oh, this is so nice because it makes me feel confident then, and I feel like, hey, how's it going? Like, you come up, I'm like, hey,
You're chilling.
Woo, what's up? Because I'm like, they're coming out right. Normally, I'm just like, hey, how are you? I'm like,
Can you do me a favor? If next time I come in, I won't say anything. I'll go totally stone face, but just give me an out of 10 how they are how that one was.
Okay,
Yeah,
I will.
There's a 7. All right.
I will.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Do you still care about like the TikTokers or reviews or anything like do you care about how the restaurant's being written about?
No, I care because it affects business. So
It still does?
Yeah, I think it does for everyone. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
I mean, I mean, we just take it so serious. Like, myself and my staff, like we take it so serious. Like I just don't want people to come in and not have a great experience. So, that extends out to like social media people or anyone else. I mean, we don't do anything different if someone comes in from social media. I mean, we treat it, it's the same for whoever's in.
But isn't the one of the great benefits of having done it for as long as you've done it, and you knowing better than anyone else how good the pizza is, if someone writes something critically about it, like, don't you know deep down that they're wrong? Like, don't you know that,
I don't know if that's true.
Because I always say this about restaurants. Sometimes when I don't like a restaurant, I say it's a fantastic restaurant because I know they're doing exactly what they want to do.
Right, which is amazing.
But it's just not really for me.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a great approach. I mean, I wish that, I mean, I'm just not a fan of negative reviews on food in the first place because I feel like it's so hurtful. Like I've said for years, man, like for my whole life, I've always said like restaurant reviews, like restaurant critics should only write positive reviews. Obviously within that, it can be nuanced and tell about, but it should basically be like, if you're not written about, chances are they think you suck.
Yeah.
Like that's how people could be like, oh, that restaurant's been around 20 years and no one's ever written about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's never, but I don't think there's a benefit to going out and writing a review and being like, this sucked, that sucked, this is terrible. Like, this is like, first of all, it's food. Like, granted, we're talking about how serious I take my work and all this stuff, and I do feel like I die for what I do. But at the end of the day, it's food. And it's like, it's so hurtful for like people, and they've invested their money and they have a staff and like maybe they're just barely getting by. And it's like, who cares? Like, don't eat there. You know what I mean? If it sucks, they're going to end up out of business on their own. A review doesn't need to be the thing that takes them out. They're going to figure out that like what they're making sucks and no one comes in. They have no repeat customers and they're out of business.
So do you prefer it now that there is no like central figures, that it's more just social media in general?
Because I don't care one way or the other, quite honestly.
Yeah.
I just do what I'm doing. I'm just saying, if you're asking my opinion about like that, I've always felt like it was, when I would read a negative one, I always felt like, it's like, it just felt hurtful. Like, cause I'm like, that could be me. Like, like that's scary and it's hurtful. And it's like someone's trying to make a living. But I don't really care one way or the other.
Yeah.
Like I just do what I'm doing and hope people love it. And I take it so serious that I like what you said, which is, what I always would hope people would say about Una is there's no way that this place is not trying their best.
Yeah, how could someone give you
like if you're like, what, I don't like
your
this
life
kind of
to
pizza.
it. Yeah.
It's not my style, whatever. I don't like the music they play. That's all cool and totally, personal opinion. But I just hope anyone that comes in would be able to, or reviewer or anyone, be able to be like, man, they're really trying. No matter what, there's no phoning it in. There's no like half-assedness. Like, at least that. I don't like this style, but like, I recognize how hard they're working.
I think maybe there's room for negative criticism. Like, I think when, for instance, if you did take the 25 mil and open 10, 20 Anthony's or whatever,
maybe that's a different story.
Then because I think that the reason you do negative criticism is like you want to push people away from eating at the chains to the independent. Like the negative criticism is good for the person who would choose not to go to your restaurant, but to go to one of these New York mega restaurants because they think it's cooler.
Right.
Because a lot of the food at those places sucks.
Yeah, well, there's so much money behind so many of them.
Exactly. So I think that the only thing negative criticism can do is tell people that like, hey, that place that you're going because you think is cool and a scene and you've heard that the food is really good, just so you know that's shit art.
Yeah.
And you should go to a place that's owned by an independent operator, a person. Like, so I do think that there is.
I see.
Like when these big celebs open in Vegas and stuff, like fucking torch it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like they
guess.
when you take the bag.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's hard to know though, because that's
No, because I do think that
yeah.
one thing criticism can do is maybe steer them back
yeah.
to caring.
But I think even these big but I think I agree in one way, but in another way, I feel like it's hard because then it's like subjective criticism, where it's like, I don't know. It's like I worry then like they're only gonna talk negative. Like they'll only do reviews that are negative if it's on like a big group.
Yeah.
But if you suck and you're an independent, they won't talk about you. So it's kind of not fair in that way. Even if, yes, it's not fair. Well, it is fair because it's capitalism. Like you took 25 million and you have a big restaurant. Like God bless you if it sucks. The thing is, like, again, I think it goes back to eventually even those big places all tank.
Yeah.
Like the public is pretty smart when they stop listening to crap that's being fed to them. I think I hope most people, when they experience things in life, are like, you know what? This is BS.
I guess so.
It's BS. Like, we're not going there again. Like, maybe they went there.
Over time.
It's cool. Yeah,
Over
it takes
time.
time. It
Yeah.
does take time. But I think eventually you see it. Like, a lot of these places that are cool or have so much money behind them, they start suffering. Or you go and you're like, man, this place is dead. Like, I thought it was, like, hip. It's, like, half empty on a Friday night. I think the people slowly start to see like this is not legit. Like I'm not coming here again.
Yeah.
And they tell their friend, it's like, don't go there. Like, oh, I'm gonna go there for don't go. It's like no good. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's my hope in humanity that people are just like seeing the truth, you know?
Maybe it can just move them quicker. Because mine is we come from exactly the same place. I don't think. I mean, you've gotten fucking torched a couple times, and it's been crazy.
Yeah, no, well, that's what I was saying. Like, you would ask, like, you know, do at this point in my career, do I care if someone said something negative? And, you know, because I could feel like, oh, I know it's so good. I mean, I don't know
if you know it's so good, but you know you're doing.
I know I'm trying.
It's within the sweet spot of what you want to do.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think my ego really just lies in the hard work ethic at this point in my life. So I feel like, you know, there's a vulnerability to me and to what we do. And I think if I didn't have that at this point in my life, I don't know if I would be able to keep going into work because I'd probably feel like, oh, I'm so good. Like,
right. You're still vulnerable.
I feel that. Yeah. And if I didn't feel that, I feel like I would just like be like, oh, I'm such hot shit. Like, I don't care what you think. And then that's how you end up sucking at what you do. Like, I think you need
But
to
if you really thought you were, regardless, if you thought you were such hot shit, you would think that you could run 10 restaurants, I think.
Maybe that would be good.
you wouldn't be so worried about money.
Exactly. So it's all like this circle that I keep dancing around in.
So just to kind of get back to the beginning, like when people ask you, when you say you're less confident about things now, like, do you think you're worse at answering the question, like, sort of, what is life? Like, do you think when you were 20, you were like, fucking life is...
No, I think now I'm better at, like, trying to live in a way that's, like, based on good things. And when I was 20, I definitely had good ideas then, some good ideas, but I was also like, you know, aggressive and like full of myself and like, you know, I just was like a different person in a lot of ways, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny that when pizza ferments, it becomes a little more pungent, and when we ferment as humans, we become a little softer?
Yeah.
Like we're almost like fresh dough.
Yeah, totally.
We reverse.
Totally, in reverse, yeah.
If you were to give, like, what do you think your valedictorian speech, or if you were giving the commencement at Jersey State University or whatever, or Rutgers, you coming in, you know, what do you think you're telling the kids?
I think I would tell them, like, work hard and never back down, you know? And, like, you got to just keep putting it in, you know? There's no shortcuts, you know? And spread love.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough because it's like, I think you need both of those things. You need, like, a lot of, like, fight in you, and then you have to do it with love, you know? So, like, fight hard for what you're doing. Like, believe in it and don't relent and just go at it relentlessly every day. Life is short. You know, it's like, this is it. Like, just go at it and like grab it and fight and fight and fight. And a lot of days are going to suck, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's such a gift that I feel like I have, if nothing else. And maybe it's from my mom, is like somehow, and it's truly like, it's not like I'm thinking about this to make this happen for myself, but every morning when I wake up, I just feel like excited to go back at what I'm doing. Even if the night before sucked. And like I went home with like my tail between my legs and I feel like sad and stressed and I'm upset and I can't think straight and whatever. I wake up the next day and I'm just like, all right, I'm pumped. Like I'm going at it and I'm gonna try to make it better. And so I think like if you can somehow get that into your psyche, that's like the secret, you know, to like trying to do whatever you want to do in life. Like I'll tell you this, and I just said this probably a week ago to somebody. We were talking and
In another therapy session?
in another therapy session, yeah. And I was like, you know, when I started out doing the pizza, I was like, I don't care if anyone comes in. I just want to do this. Like, I love doing this and I want to be good at this and I love eating this pizza. So I'm going to do it. And this is way back 30 years ago when I opened, I was like, if no one comes in, I'll just go get a job doing something else. And I'm going to keep this place open and I'll do it one night a week. Because at that time it was in New Jersey. It was like super cheap rent. I had no employees. It's like, I don't care. Like it was really just, I did it all for me. And I think that that's also really, really important in the beginnings.
You got to find that thing.
You got to find that thing. You got to be doing what you're doing all for you. It has to be completely selfish. It has to just be about you. What you're doing has to be like, this is what I'm doing because I have to do this and I want to do this and I don't care.
Find the
about
beautiful
anything
thing you
else.
want to make.
Yeah, exactly. And then from there, then it starts to branch out into other thinkings within that. But the root of it, you know, has to be that, I think. It's the only way you can get through all the ups and downs, you know, because if you're doing it for other reasons, monetary, whatever reasons, cool, because you think you should, because your family is forcing you to do it, whatever hundreds of reasons that people get into things, I just don't think it's going to sustain you through the dark moments, you know, because there's dark moments in everything, in every single thing, you know, in your job, in your family, in love, in life, in everything. There's like moments where you're like, ugh. And you need to have like a foundation of why you're doing it that's not shakeable.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think I will let you go, but I just want to say that honestly, people like you like truly are an inspiration for me, and things like this give me world hope.
Thanks.
Yeah, make beautiful shit.
Yeah, that's it.
Life's short, make pizza.
Yeah. Or life's short and just make it beautiful.
Yeah. Fuck.
You know?
Yeah. I'm trying. But
Same. I mean, it's a work in progress.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of days it's not going that way for me, but that's the goal, you know?
Stay hydrated.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, stay hydrated.
Have you ever noticed, what is the version of push the hydration in another field? Have you ever thought about that? Because it's such a cool idea. The
Yeah.
idea of like, that's the magic, but if you overdose on the magic.
I mean, isn't there an element of that in everything?
Yeah.
Like,
I have just never thought about this
no,
before.
No, me neither. It just made me think like jazz
Yeah.
music. And when you're improvising, when you go to see them improvise, and then all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, they've gone way too far. Like, stop the drum solo.
Yeah.
We get it. You
Right,
know?
right.
It's like, now it's shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's not music anymore. It's just like, you're just like going too far with it. I think it's like that.
Organicness, I guess.
Yeah. I think there's a way to see that, I think, in everything, you know?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, push the water. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, man.
All right. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.